To build the technology of tomorrow, successful founders must accurately predict the innovations required to transform critical industries. Welcome to Foresight 2024. I'm Colin Anderson, founding partner of Friends and Family Capital. Join us in conversation with our founders as they share their foresight into some of the technologies that will enhance our lives.
Phillip, thank you for being here today. We're seeing national news headlines all the time about near misses on the runway, air traffic chaos. Tell us what's happening behind those headlines.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we're facing a software crisis in aerospace. You would assume, given how high stakes flight operations and air operations are, that the best software systems are deployed, the most sophisticated systems. Reality could not be more different. You have legacy systems that were deployed decades ago that have never been changed. The problem is when you add additional complexity, when you add additional stress on these systems, they don't scale and they falter. And that's precisely what we've been seeing over the last couple of years. We have civil aviation recover from 0 and go back to 100 in the post-pandemic recovery. And we have adversaries that are stressing the US and its allies in ways they haven't before. And for that reason, we need a new kind of class of software systems that allows the human operators to make faster and more precise decisions.
Nearly 3 million Americans are traveling by air every day. How is this crisis impacting that?
Human operators in this domain make decisions that are only as good as the information that's being displayed to them. If software systems fail, flights won't take off and you won't get to your destination.
With all this increasing complexity, what's the solution?
I think we need to rethink on how software is being built in aerospace. Traditionally, software is built as if it would be hardware. And that's because the companies that built software in aerospace were originally founded to design new airframes, new radar stations, physical components. As we all know, software is very, very different. It's never finished, it's built dynamically, and we need to make sure we get the best software engineers back into aerospace. And in many ways, that's why we started Airspace Intelligence. It's a software-first aerospace company that is building an environment for the best software engineers to ship the most mission-critical systems.
Thank you for being here. Parker, what transformations and innovations are you seeing in the world of accounting today?
We are at the precipice of the next big change in accounting. Every industry goes through moments where the technology changes, the industry transforms, the way that teams operate changes, the way that businesses operate change, and we're looking at that today in accounting. And that next big shift is AI.
Do you believe that AI will be as transformative for the accounting industry as it promises to be for others?
AI is going to transform the accounting business. Today, we've seen mostly light surface level applications while the industry contemplates and struggles to figure out where will it have the biggest impact. But I do think we are going to see a grounds up, fundamental reapproach to how accounting is done.
Well, that certainly sounds transformative, but what does this look like in practice?
One of the places I'm most excited about personally is how real world data, real world activities are translated into accounting, right into the underlying credits and debits. And these are so many examples of these workflows, whether it's a new customer contract, a new lease, you buy a new computer or laptop. Usually what goes on is a lot of manual hours into understanding how do you account for it, how do you write the policies, how do you do the math, right? And those are places where AI is going to come in and really play a big difference. And that's going to result in a very, very different day-to-day for accountants.
The question that's on everyone's minds, will this replace human accountants? Will jobs be lost to this transformation?
I talk with accountants every day and this question comes up. But moreover, what we hear is the concern of being overworked, of being overstressed, of generally just being underwater. And so we're really excited and optimistic about the role that AI is going to play in accounting. We believe it's going to enable teams to take a step up, take a step outside the system and really think about how to architect it, think about how to operate it, be more of the editor. And that's really exciting.
As we look to the future, how can organizations expect to be impacted by this change in accounting?
At the end of the day, accounting serves to empower the business. How do you help the business make the best decisions possible? And what's really exciting is so much of these AI applications are going to enable just that. They're going to enable teams to move faster, to answer questions in more detail and in more depth, to avoid taking unnecessary risk. And so this is something where we will see accounting continue to become more real-time, more detailed, more data-driven, and we're going to fundamentally see that the month-end close goes away. Every business struggles with understanding a complete picture of their financial health. And all of that at the end of the day comes back to the accounting. It comes back to the question of, is the data we're making decisions on accurate? Is it up to date? Is it complete? And AI is going to have a big role when it comes to enabling teams to do just that, but do it faster. Do it with more confidence, do it with more certainty. And especially today when businesses are navigating uncertain times, it's going to enable operators to move forward with much more conviction and much more confidence.
Danny, thank you for being here. There is conflict in multiple regions. Tell me about your view of the readiness of the West and what we need to be doing right now.
It's a tough threat environment, and we are not as prepared as we should be. We are at risk of losing a war with China over Taiwan. Their stated goal is to be ready to beat us in 2027, so we have a lot of work to do.
With a US defense budget of $800 billion, where is that going that we seem to be so far behind?
It's a lot of money, but it's actually low relative to Cold War standards, where we spent 5 to 6% of GDP on defense. Right now, we're spending between 3 and 4%. And China actually buys more military equipment than we do. In a time of unsustainable debt, we can't just buy our way out of the situation by buying more. We have to buy smarter. Thankfully, we remain the world's most innovative nation in a time of tremendous technological progress. And so the war is ours to win.
Tell us how to buy smarter. What does that mean?
The most effective investment we can make right now is in unmanned vehicles. They are more cost-effective than anything else we can buy. They've been used to great effect by Ukraine, by the Houthis in Yemen, by Iran. And we remain the world's software superpower, and so we can fly them more effectively than anyone else.
So Danny, tell me, what is your vision of the future?
We deserve a future that is free, open, and democratic. And frankly, we deserve a future that's also. The technology that we invent in service of this mission, the cheaper manufacturing, higher rate production of huge aircraft, will allow us to fly cargo cheaper than we've ever flown it, to do maritime search and rescue, for everybody to afford cheap skywriting, to fly magnetometers around mining sites so we can get the metals we need more cheaply. When we went to the moon, we didn't just get moon rocks and victory over the Soviets. We got Tang and Velcro and the GPS system. Anytime we invent a great new technology, it has unpredictable benefits elsewhere in our lives.
You mentioned that you believe that we are still the hub of innovation. What do you think creates this environment, and how do we protect it?
I think it's a combination of us training the world's scientists and engineers and being the place that they all want to come to, of having a regulatory environment that makes it okay and easy to start companies, and having a culture that encourages risk-taking, that celebrates the benefits that we get and makes it okay to fail, pick ourselves up, and try again.
Can you speak to American manufacturing capacity? Do you believe we actually have the ability to catch up?
Absolutely. We have the most innovative manufacturing in the world. What we have lost over the last 30 years is an industrial base where we make a lot of things cheaply and at high volume. But what we have is the best scientists and engineers in the world and the most advanced equipment in the world. We need to continue investing in bringing American manufacturing back and in the startup companies and R&D at large companies that makes it happen.